Hello, everyone. This is Claudiu Murgan, the host of the Spiritual Inspire Show. And my guest today is Kenji Kumara. Kenji is recognized worldwide as a spiritual catalyst and is the creator of quantum Lightweaving and Asheville sacred hikes. With academic training in education, psychology, and the healing arts, Kenji serves as a facilitator of consciousness to assist those who wish to explore their personal path of illumination and awaken to their soul's destiny and life purpose. He serves as a channel holder and initiator of expanded grounded awareness and provides a vibrational space for one's awakening, self empowered healing, and soul mastery. Upon attending one of Kenji's intensive retreats and online series, many have reported profound life changes and clarity on their life purpose. Many received ongoing benefits such as stress relief, reversal of physical conditions, and reduction and elimination of worry, anxiety, and self doubt. Kenji is currently living in North Carolina, and he is one of the top healers in Asheville. Kenji, thank you very much for joining me today here.
You're welcome, sir. Wonderful to be here with you and your audience.
I would like to start by asking you, when did your spiritual journey start, and how did you walk on that path?
With my 2 feet. Age 5. I remember I was living in Berkeley, California, and my mom was cleaning out the bathtub. This was all spontaneous, no pre-thought. So I just walked up to her and said, "Mommy, who am I?" And then she stopped and then turned around and said to me, "You're Japanese." And of course, that was not the level that I was asking, right? So I had this big question mark above my head and went, "Oh, okay. I guess I got to start my search now and find out who I am, because I'm definitely not Japanese. My body's Japanese, but yeah." So from that, um, after barely graduating high school, I went to the Air Force because I didn't want to get drafted and go to Vietnam and kill people. That was the last thing I wanted to do in my life. So as a very scared, just turned 18-year-old, I went to the Air Force for 3.5 years. And I got out and I worked for almost a year at a warehouse, and then decided, because I didn't believe I had any skills, I better go to college so I can get a good job. So not knowing if I could even write a paper, let alone pass exams, I went to a junior college near Santa Cruz, California. And what boosted my my confidence was I got a B average. And I thought to myself, wow, I guess I could do this. I actually probably am smarter than I think I am. So it took me 10 years to get my master's degree in education and my bachelor's in psychology. But during that time, I've always had interest in spiritual stuff. So I started reading everything I could on metaphysics, Asian history, philosophy. The healing arts wasn't there at the time. So the closest thing was psychology, I guess. But then I studied other things like psychic development, and I read the Edgar Cayce readings. I thought fascinating. And then, I studied that for about a year, and studied psychic development, and was trained to teach people to be psychics. And then the journey started into more healing arts work and everything that was available up until probably 1997 or so. But I'll tell you something interesting. When I was a teenager, I used to think to myself, God, I sure miss my teacher. So somewhere in my memory, I had this memory of like going every week, Fridays, to go see my teacher. And I felt it was like kind of like a Zen teacher. And I missed that. I missed that growing up. I went, wow, I miss my teacher. And so my path basically has been in a physically alone journey, going through, oh God, just moving about every 6 months. I did that for about 20 years in my 20s and 30s, even into my 40s. And I just couldn't settle down. And my parents always thought, you're like that Kung Fu guy on TV in that series, Grasshopper. And I was kind of like that. I was going from town to town, trying to find my place, trying to find my tribe, studying to see how healing really works and how I could help people. So my calling really, my whole life has been one of the healing arts and helping people to awaken and to achieve their dreams and to become fully awake. And let's see.
That's an amazing goal and life purpose, that's for sure. And
Yeah, and
please go
I
ahead.
had I had kind of an inner knowing about Buddha's teaching and the teachings of Jesus. I call him Yeshua. And I had this idea. I would love to kind of merge the teachings of the East and the West. Buddha's teachings about enlightenment, meditation, awakening, and Yeshua's teachings about all this stuff now that we would call quantum theory, quantum awareness and perspective. And then later, I guess in about the last 20 years, I've been focusing a lot on Divine Mother Consciousness, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene. And I've always had a propensity for the esoteric arts and philosophy and spiritual psychotherapy. So the journey has taken me around the block a whole lot of times.
So you focused on the feminine side of the spiritual world surrounding us. Again, usually people look at Jesus, look at Buddha, and the masculine side of enlightened beings. And you focused on the feminine side. And other than, let's say, Mary, mother of Yeshua, and um, I don't know if they talk too much about Mary Magdalene. I don't think they do that because their perception is not the right one. So how did you find the feminine side in the spiritual um, realm? Is it much more powerful than the masculine one? Does it bring a different aspect to what we call our spirituality?
Well, because we are kind of used to growing up and being conditioned by the masculine perspective. And I realized at one point in my journey that where is the woman? Where is the divine feminine in all this? Because as the teachings say, the nurturing part of us needs to develop, needs to be expressed. You just can't have that will male energy all the time. It needs to be balanced and expressed forward to have that balance. And even today, people are still getting kind of used to tapping into and expressing their feminine nature because they think it's weak, they think it's inferior. And really, since we were all born through woman, even though us men can't deliver babies in a sense, we still have that same kind of nurturing side, that loving side, that accepting side, the side that doesn't judge, the part of us that, like when babies cry, right? They're asking for attention, for love and support. And the mother is always there, at least hopefully, to nurture the baby in a way perhaps that men are not able to. But when you study the higher dimensional levels, there's always that divine balance between the opposites. Of course, until we get into the realm where that doesn't exist. But for now, for most people, I think the challenge is to become much more aware of their nurturing side, the side that gives, the side that loves, and the side that nurtures.
Yeah, so there is still that duality inside us up to the point when we reach enlightenment and we might consider one with the creator, and we have that elating feeling of oneness. You mentioned Yeshua, so you are using a different name than uh, everyone else is using, and I know again a handful of people who are who's using this name for Jesus. That means you have a different opinion about how Mary Magdalene is being portrayed in the Bible. So can we have that perspective from you, please?
Well, Yeshua was his Aramaic name, and I believe that the more true teachings come from the Aramaic, his native language. And most churchgoers aren't aware that he studied in a lot of different physical places that are not mentioned in the Bible because they took out the really good books from the Bible. And some of us are aware of that. But he studied the mystery school teachings. He went into the temples, and he was in Tibet, he was in India, he was in China, he was in the Americas. In Americas, they called him the one with the blonde hair that wore white robes and sandals. But he had the ability to appear any way that he wanted to different people. And he appeared to people in a way that they could accept him and the teachings. So really, if you look down into the esoteric history of many, many continents and cultures, his teachings are there. And he had to go through his initiations just like we are going through our initiations. He didn't come in fully awake and realized, in a sense. He came to show us the steps of initiation, what one goes through in mastering emotions, thoughts, the physical body, how to consciously teleport and manifest, and using the cities that Hinduism talks about. And so it wasn't like he just came in like he was a miracle man. He had to go through his tests and his trials. Symbolically, it was the 40 nights in the desert, being tempted by this being that they call Satan, but who knows what that was. And, he was misunderstood, just like some of us are today. And here's the difference. And this is kind of what I was told from the other side, is that Yeshua, or Sananda, which is more of his higher self name, and his teacher was Maitreya, by the way, his spiritual teacher, that was not recorded in the Bible. He experienced all the emotions that we experience. And he got angry, he got upset, he had doubts, he had frustration, he has all of the emotions that we have. The difference is he was able to clear those emotions during the day so that when he went to sleep at night or he meditated, he didn't take that garbage with him. He was clear. And so when he woke up, he was clear the next day. See, that's basically the difference. He was trying to show us there's a way to master these lower realms so that we can truly express our divine spirit, which is a challenge, especially given the world situation right now. But we teach people, stay on your path. Don't give up. Work with your doubts. Stay connected. Rise above all the chaos, which is very important. Rise above all of that disinformation, shall we say, biased opinions about anything and everything. Find your truth. So what is really true for you? That's the challenge.
Yes. And do you think that Yeshua was, as the Bible says, or and other people think, the only Son of God or the first Son of God?
He was a son of God, and he was trying to show us that you too are the same. But of course, they took that out of the Bible.
Yes.
See, it doesn't make any sense, even for a little kid, to hear those words that he was the only son of God and everybody else was born in sin, including Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Anna, grandmother of Jesus or Yeshua, etc. Doesn't make any sense. How can that be? How can God send down only one representative of itself and everybody else in creation is born in sin and has to repent? Makes no sense to the mind of a child. And that's a part of us that we need to cultivate more, that innocence and that openness and that ability to go, no, that doesn't make sense. No, that is not true for me.
Yeah. So we have our own holiness and our power of creation and our own power of connecting with God in our own way.
Yeah, and you know why that is because we're born, we're here. We have to come from God. And see, here's the thing. So, since all of us are a divine I am present spark of divine light that came from source in the very beginning, we have those same qualities as God, do we not? We can't be lesser than our creator. We are one and the same. And so the step down coming from the ethereal realms, we have our beautiful I am presence, that vibration that is wholly connected and expressed through creator energy. And the step down, we come into these dense worlds. We come down, we are stepped down from our spirit and we create an oversoul. And then that oversoul creates different lifetimes simultaneously. Like we have a lifetime here, we have lifetimes in the past, the future, and parallel realities. And they're all coordinated to this central incarnation. So on some level, our spirit is coordinating all these other lifetimes of learning and challenges. And we could even be on other systems and other galaxies. We can be in other planets and star systems, but we're not aware of it. It would be too overwhelming for our conscious mind to be aware of all of that. That would just be too much overwhelm. So there's, in a sense, a necessary veiling or forgetfulness of these other dimensional realms until we're able to have enough light in our body to be able to handle the information. So everything comes in divine right timing. We don't want to force Kundalini awakening or any of that stuff. We let it occur naturally.
Yes, you're right. Through my own research, reading, learning from every single guest I had on this show, I realized there are two ingredients which surround us and are part of our existence and our being is water and energy. And I like to focus on the energy component because you mentioned healing, and healing is energy pretty much. You heal with energy. Can you dive a little bit deeper into how you use energy into what you are doing?
Okay, so there are some steps in the healing work. And maybe initially it was a shamanic perspective of where you take on other people's energy to heal them of physical, mental, spiritual kinds of conditions. But the problem with that is if you take it on and it gets stuck in your field, in your mind, you'll get sick eventually. And the other thing is, we really can't take away another person's learning, disease, illness. We can help them to understand what that's about and to teach them to hold a state, S-T-A-T-E, a state, a vibration in which healing has already occurred or where perfection is already present. And so we're not transmitting energy to people. We're holding a state of consciousness sacred space, if you will, for people to come into and to awaken into their own power of, oh, I can let this go now because I realize, wow, the lesson of that, silly me. And there's another part where it, like say in meditation, when you meditate with someone that comes to you for help, that you can tune in together to essentially activate the healing power that is within that person. And as they are healed, so are you, in a sense, in a matter of speaking. So it's always a two-way thing. We heal together, we're on the journey together, and then we realize that we're not separate in a sense. We are on this journey together. So your healing is my healing is your healing. The healing of God is everybody's healing.
And because our energy or my energy field mingles with your energy field, and that's when the healing occurs. We will just um, feel each other. The energy fields intermingle, and will heal through this process of thinking positive and thinking that the manifestation has already happened. Correct?
Well, yes, that. And there's also an aspect of openness. So when people are ready, when they're spiritually ready and they're open, like their chakras are flowing and open, their mind is open-minded in a sense, their emotional body is open, all levels of their awareness is open and ready to receive, then that's when we have miracles. That's when we have things that occur that you cannot explain by science or medicine. So it's the observer effect again in quantum theory. We can observe an illness or an emotional pattern or a mental condition within another person, but at the same time, we can also see them as perfect. We can also see them as already healed. We can see them as not needing anything but internal awareness of what is. And there's the law that, right, energy follows thought. So if your thought, your focus is one of perfection, then it is. That's what it is. And what we do in our spiritual work is we're always communicating with your higher self. We're not talking to your ego, your mind, your emotional body. We're speaking, we're connecting to your spirit. That's what's not taught. That's part of the problem of humanity. You know, a lot of our ignorance and unawareness is due to how we were raised. And so if we were raised in a conditioned environment, this is the truth and nothing else is the truth. Say what I do. Don't be a creative thinker. Then we're going to grow up and realize, oh my God, I have such limitations within myself. I better go on the spiritual journey and learn how to expand my awareness, my consciousness. So we go from being totally asleep to being totally awake. Now that could take lifetimes, or that can be in one instant, one holy instant where the awakening occurs. So everybody's different. So 100 people can attend a transmission or a presentation, and you're going to get 100 different experiences.
Yeah, that's for sure. So is there any not necessarily quick but easier way as step one for anyone who wants to start practically to connect with his or her higher self, something that can be done on a daily basis, like small steps? But can you share the first step, practical step that anyone can do at home?
Well, first of all, one has to have the desire. We're not speaking about an emotional body desire, but a spiritual, higher level desire to want to wake up, to want to heal all aspects of dysfunction, to be consciously, we're all connected with source, but to be consciously connected and aware of that flow of energy is very profound. I believe people are seeking that somehow. The younger generation are trying to do it through, I would say, drugs and other kinds of things. Other people through yoga, meditation, fitness, nature connection. But we're all striving on some level to really wake up and to know God. So that's always the ultimate search of the yogi or the yogini, right?
Yes.
Is to know God. Well, what is that? Is that a separate thing from myself? Is it my higher self, really, that I'm seeking? So also involved is commitment and devotion to that desire of wanting to be fully awake and present, to experience life joyfully, to rise above all the chaos and confusion at the same time. So desires comes first, and then a commitment, an internal commitment to focus on one's spiritual growth. And then the universe are going to provide you with examples or situations that may challenge you at first. So you get to know yourself a little bit better. So everything that we need to learn is manifested when we were young through our relationship with our parents and how we were raised, how we were treated. Were we nourished and loved, or were we abandoned and neglected? Were my parents addicted to whatever? Were they loving? Were they caring about my well-being? So all these things play into our personality. And at some point in the journey, we realize that, oh, the personality self, that's not everything. There's got to be more to this. There's got to be more to my thinking patterns and my emotional states. So where do I look? How do I find that? So the universe will provide perhaps a platform or a format for one to study. Oh, I think I want to get into yoga. Maybe I want to be a yoga teacher, or maybe I want to be a veterinarian, or maybe I want to be some kind of a healer. And of course, as you know, everybody wants to be a healer of some kind. Well, we already are that. That unconscious, knowing propels people to want to study some level of healing work, because they are knowing on some level that it is within me. I just have to find it. So they do the external search. And, if they find a good teacher, they will always be taught, go within, find your truth. And so, practically speaking, the universe will provide you with emotional experiences, relationship experiences that will trigger you to become aware of what might be blocking in your awareness. It could be an illness. It could be a physical condition. And by the way, we're not going crazy, because a lot of the younger generation now are very sensitive and they're very psychic. And some of them are having questions about God. Is this real? And like, how do I control my abilities? So yeah, there'll become a point where you'll start opening up to your own abilities. You'll start hearing people's thoughts, feeling people's thoughts. You might know what's going to happen 3 days from now. All of a sudden you can read people's energy and feel where they're at. Oh, that doesn't feel so good. Oh, that feels very good. That's lovely. People will go out in nature and start talking and seeing nature spirits and talking to trees and flowers. Again, you're not going crazy. It's just another level that has not been taught to us. And then we might be seeing beings from other dimensions. That's a little bit more of a challenge. We say to them, go to the light, just basically. But practically speaking, you'll get these desires and intuitions. Oh, I got to change my diet. Oh, I got to study this, or I really should do that. And the part of the challenge is following through on your intuition. Because sometimes we have this lazy part of us to go, well, I don't know, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. So Mr. and Mrs. Doubt comes in. And that's probably one of the main obstacles in spiritual growth is overcoming self-doubt so that you can be self-confident in your experiences and know that you're not going crazy. You're just experiencing things that most people won't talk about or have not experienced yet. And eventually we'll come to the cities where we'll have these are natural abilities of teleportation, of being in more than one place at the same time, having precognition, having lucid dreaming, that's conscious control of the dream state, out-of-body experiences, talking with these beings that who are you? Communication with masters and angels. So these are all natural. They're not far out weird things. These are states that are within us. These abilities are within us. So we have to get over the cultural conditioning that says, no, you're crazy for having that experience. Let's recommend you to a psychiatric hospital because you're talking to people and things that aren't there, right? You're sensing stuff that we cannot prove by science. So therefore, you're a little odd. Let's give you a referral to see a psychiatrist.
Yes, and
Better
that's
to just
another
go
why-
get some body work done, right?
Yeah.
And find people in your tribe that understand you and know that, no, you're not going crazy. You haven't flipped out. You're right on track. You just got to learn how to control your abilities. So that's a challenge. How do I control my telepathic abilities? How do I control my sensitivity? Because I go out in the world and boy, I'm overwhelmed. I feel everybody's anger and emotional states and, oh, it's not fun. Yeah, that's a big challenge to learn how to rise above all that and not take that on into your field or your mind or even your body. A lot of emotions, a lot of physical conditions are not our own. We've taken it on from other people, our parents, even our ancestors energetically. So that's another level of the healer thing is like trying to save the world and trying to save your ancestors and your family members. We take on their stuff unconsciously through probably soul agreement before we came here. Okay, I'm going to heal my family. I'm going to save the planet. I'm going to heal my ancestors. But again, you can only heal yourself. And when you heal yourself, then that vibration goes out to everybody that you're connected with and they feel it and it makes them feel good. So again, it's the healer learning their personal space, their boundaries, what's mine and what's not mine. Choosing to not solve anybody else's problem. Because as a child, we try to do that. We try to heal our parents' stuff. This is what kids do. This is what little kids do, right? But we have to learn, okay, we have to allow them their learning lesson and we can support them in their healing, but we can't take it on. We can't take on their pain into our belly or our breast or our lungs or even our brain. We have to allow everybody their space.
Yes, you made a good point that we all have to understand these challenges at the physical level as a lesson and step back and realize or assess what have I learned from this lesson, what I should take with me, what should I release and give back and move to the next level. And don't get mad, don't get upset, just look at it as a lesson.
Well, the other thing is too, we can be upset, we can be angry, we can be frustrated, but don't hold on to it. As Jesus taught, okay, clear it from your field, let it go by the time you go to bed. It's okay to experience these things. That's human nature, but don't hold on to it. So we have this unconscious habit of holding on to stuff. We don't hold on to love. like we do anger or upsetness, right?
Yes.
You know, sometimes parents, they will never forget. They could be like 80 years old and still remember what you did at age 16. And then you say, why are you still hanging on to that? That happened way back then.
Yeah, and they want to understand, even if you explain to them that it's not healthy energetically to hold on to that unpleasant memory, they cannot let go. It's something like it's part of their own being, and they think that if they let go and forget, it's something dear to them, or it's them. It's this is what characterizes them. So it's very hard.
Yeah, they were taught that. So we always have to remember that we were conditioned by the church, by our parents, by the military, by figures in authority positions, because we weren't taught to speak out. No, that's not true. We weren't taught to be expressive and say no. We had to kind of swallow it, as they say, right?
Yeah.
Even though some part of us didn't believe that. But when you don't say no, that's not true when you're a little kid to an adult figure.
Yes.
You have accepted it on some level, whatever that untruth is, until we grow up and realize, oh, that was daddy's thoughts and feelings and emotions, or wow, mom really projected her insecurity and self-doubt onto me, and I accepted it, not knowing that I accepted it. You know, sometimes when little kids have temper tantrums, it's an attempt to clear the energy from their parents that they got from their parents that were projected onto them. And that's the only way that they know how, as a little kid, to release that energy. So that's just an example of a little person being really empathic and sensitive and psychic, and not knowing where their boundaries are. It's just an unconscious attempt to clear that energy.
Yes.
And,
And
and
is this
sometimes, and
yes, go ahead.
sometimes when we have emotional outbursts of anger, that's not ours.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's the same with us being born into a specific religion. We didn't choose that religion, but later on in life, we realize that we believe in something else, or our faith should be different. And it's very hard to switch over or to remove ourselves from from that constraint, because it's the family, it's the environment, and it looks very odd to do that, especially when you are an adult. But it's about us, who we are, speaking out and moving on our spiritual path.
It takes a brave soul to be fully expressive in this world at this time, without judging or condemning others, but to just simply express your truth. It takes a strong soul, a brave soul. It takes courage.
Yes. I know you're a practicant of Kriya Yoga. How this type of yoga meditation and practice was integrated with your spiritual journey, or into your spiritual journey?
Well, when I was younger, I sat before gurus and got initiated into Kriya Yoga, different teachers, and they all taught differently. And then what I realized is, oh, this is my past life knowledge. I already know this. It's already incorporated in my being. So I just live the teachings. Uh, Here's what I've come to in my older age. I didn't have this awareness when I was younger, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, but I've always wanted to have the teaching simple and accessible. So I don't talk a lot about all kinds of stuff that I know. I just try to live it. I try to express it in the healing work and in my online events, in my mentoring program. in a very simple way that's kind of universal. So kind of my focus has been to simplify the teachings down to its kernel, its essence. So what really is the teachings of Yeshua and Buddha and Kuan Yin, Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, and the Essenes or the Brotherhood of Light, Sisterhood of Light, Divine Feminine, all of that. So I'm always asking Prime Creator for the simple answer, the simple solution. And verbally, I try to make it as short as possible, but to the point. I haven't found this though too much in my whole journey of over 50 years, but you know, when I see someone that is teaching the work and they're very simple with short sentences that make you ponder and go, wow, I got to ponder that. That was pretty profound. It was a one sentence answer to my very big question, right? I like that.
Yes.
So I feel we need to simplify. We need to let go of all the clutter, the trappings of spirituality, the glamour of spirituality. Just get down to the essence of it. How do you help people find themselves? Well, we show them how to breathe, how to connect, how to open up an experience. Simple. Now, they take that experience and they do whatever they do with that experience. Maybe they'll come back for more. Maybe that was good enough in the moment and they're on their way. So we also try to teach non-codependency. Don't depend on the teacher like Buddha taught. Don't be codependent on your teacher. Your teacher is a way shower. They can point the way, but you have to walk the path. They can't give you enlightenment.
Yes. You're right. The essence is in small sentences, and as people say, um, less is more most of the time. So yes, you're right. How did the solstice on December 21st seem to you? How did you feel it?
That was a very profound event. We did a solstice event. We called it the Ascension Stargate. So astrologically, it was the start of the age of Aquarius, as opposed to 2012 or the year 2000. And our calendars aren't accurate anyway. And I don't know, we may be behind a bit, but astrologically, with the conjunction and everything, it was the start of the age of Aquarius. So we've left the Kali Yuga, the age of darkness and conflict and suffering and fighting and wars, unconsciousness. And now we're moving into the first phase of the age of enlightenment. So you're going to see this is a kind of an interesting level. You're going to see more people go into unconsciousness and darkness on the planet. And at the same time, you're going to see more people awakening into their own light and the oneness. So it's almost like we're going to be living in two worlds, one of chaos, extreme chaos and confusion and mandates and all that stuff, biased opinions. And you're going to see another level of people waking up and beginning to embody the light. So you're going to see people that go, oh my God, I am just so overwhelmed and I'm just a wreck. And like, I don't know what's going on and who to believe, where to go. I'm lost my job. I don't know what to do. I'm going to lose my home pretty soon. You have all these extreme situations. And at the same time, you're going to talk to people and go, man, life is great. I am prospering. I am thriving. So it's like two worlds at the same time. Which one are you going to choose to be in? And if you go, oh, I want to choose that world of light, but how do I get out of my darkness? So they have to be completely committed to moving into the light. That's the prerequisite. a total commitment, internal commitment. This is the most important thing in my life, is to wake up. And then the universe will provide you with people and support systems and all that. So it may seem like, oh my God, how am I going to get there? I don't have any money, or maybe I got a lot of money, but like, oh my God, my investments, I might lose all my money in the stock market or whatever, right? You got that level. But you got another level that says, hey, trust in the flow. God's taking care of you. You just have to keep your focus on the light. Where do you want to go? Actually, you don't have to know how you're going to get to where you want to go, because the universe will provide the situations, the money, the finances, the support system that will help get you there. See, that's what is a challenge with most of humanity now, is this whole level of trust. Well, how am I going to get from here to there? I got to get out of this job, or I got to move, but I can't afford it. And like, I got kids to raise, and like, or I got to take care of my parents. Well, part of it is like, okay, trust what is best for you. And that's not selfish. What is my calling here? Where is my destiny? All right, I'm going to choose this. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this mess, but I know that I'm going to get out of it by trusting and being open, not overthinking, trusting in the flow. Okay, tell me what to do today, Lord. That could be like your morning prayer. Show me what to do today. Show me who to go see.
Yes, it's very important to surrender, and I talk about this concept before with other um, guests, and I'm a living example of what happened last year. Even if my income was slashed creatively, I did so many things. I published a new book. I launched this podcast. I continue with another podcast. So many things moved on the creative level that I didn't feel, and I didn't bother about the less income I made. I really didn't bother. I was much more pleased with myself and my creative achievements, which kind of balance the other side.
I've had many instances in my life where I had no money. In fact, I grew up, ooh, wow, let me see. I had to think back here. I was pretty much poor up until about 20, 25 years ago. No, 20 or 15 years ago. Most of my life, I had very few clothes. I had very little money. My parents weren't destitute poor. They were lower middle class. My dad had to work 3 jobs at a time until he got a really good job with the Department of Agriculture in his later life. My mom had her first job when she was like 54 for the post office as a clerk. But, and I kind of inherited like that kind of poorness. So I went a lot without money, without a lot of clothes, with funky cars. I didn't buy my first new car until like 25 years ago, believe it or not, I think. No, was, take that back, 1980, 1981. Well, that's about 20, 40 years ago. But that was I had to wait a long time. But I went through many periods of like, oh my God, credit card debt, like really high credit card debt, bankruptcy, homelessness, divorce, pretty much everything that people go through in this life. But in a lot of those cases, especially the credit card debt, like how am I going to pay this off? And then doing bankruptcy and not having a car and going, how am I going to get around? And going homeless, like, oh my God, am I going to die? I survived. I got bailed out. I don't know how I did it. I can't explain exactly, but I didn't give up. I didn't go, okay, I'm just going to leave. I never thought that. I just go, well, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this, but somehow, and these are miracles that I made it through all of that stuff, especially the homelessness part. That was like 6 months of homeless. And wow, I thought I never would have imagined I'd be homeless, but I was. But I didn't freak out. I just every day wondered, where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna live? I can't do my spiritual work because I just had a house fire experience and I'm kind of a little bit in post-traumatic stress. Like, oh my God. But somehow I've trusted my guidance. Most of it was unconscious, trusting that. So I share with people like, hey, you can get out of this. If I can get out of all those situations in my life, you can too.
Yes, it's a powerful example. So let's go deeper into your successes this time, like the sacred hikes and the quantum empowering sessions. Please give us more details.
Well, I just moved beautiful Asheville, North Carolina about a little over a year and a half ago. And I ended up with a very beautiful house to rent in the forest, in a quiet place, big house where I have an actually third floor healing room, which is one of the things that I wanted in my prayers to God for my next house, right? Big office space, master bedroom, actually 2.5 floors. Um, so I came here to Asheville. I was guided to come here, not really knowing anybody except one person who sponsored me to come here. Never lived in the South before. So this is all new, energetically new environment for me. And mind you, North Carolina is just nothing but forest, basically. Hills and forests, not a lot of flat land, at least where I live. So I have to get used to that. I have to get used to the cold winters and the muggy, humid summers. But I'm thriving here. My business is thriving since I've been here, believe it or not. And they came from beautiful Sedona, where I thought, oh, I'm going to thrive. Actually, I went into debt. I went into my savings to stay in Sedona for 3 out of the 4 years that I was living there. And I had made a decision, or I actually had a plea to God, like, okay, I'm not going to go into any more debt to stay here in beautiful Sedona. Something's got to change. So in that 4th year, it did change. And I changed like my team that I work with. I changed and got really beautiful people to work with me and began to thrive. And even more so since I've been here, even though this is like very new country for me. But anyway, I came here, and as I explore this area, because like Sedona, it's got vortex areas, it's got wonderful places where you can take people to tune in. A lot of different vortexes here. So part of my focus will be in the near future, as I find these special hikes and places to go meditate and record activations, I will lead people to these places. I'm going to be offering also couples retreats in my house, because I have a guest bedroom and a healing room for couples to come for like the weekend, Friday through Sunday, to work on their stuff, to learn how to manifest their soul's desires, how to heal their relationships, that kind of level. Give them meditations, activations, take them on a sacred hike, take them to enjoy downtown Asheville and our fine restaurants here and breweries. Oh, let's see. I'm going to be offering, as soon as we get over this whole current condition in our country, monthly meditation, so people can come once a month and perhaps learn to meditate, or just to be in the company of other meditators. And we, in those monthly gatherings, will create, how shall we say, the healing for the community. So we're working with the grid system here in Asheville, work with the ley lines, we'll work with clearing all historical dense energies of civil war, slavery, all of that, which apparently is still here, but helping to uplift energetically the community, the surrounding towns, the grid lines, all of that. And I'm going to be launching a mentorship program very soon, hopefully in the springtime, where I'll be doing one-to-one mentoring and group work from a mentoring focus and helping people to actualize their spiritual path, to support them in their full awakening, their kundalini rising, you might say, in a way. But on that more esoteric level, to support people to not only manifest success in their own practice and business, but to show them a way in which you can really deepen your spiritual practice. And what perhaps needs to be done as you open up to your sensitivities and your psychic gifts, how to control them in a sense, how to be master of all of that. And then, of course, I'm still available for my one-to-one healing sessions on Zoom. And I may, as the country opens back up, to do weekend retreats here in the local area. We have some kind of nice retreat centers that are within 2 hours of Asheville that we can do weekend and even 5-day intensive retreats. Again, from a mentoring perspective. Let's see, what else we have? We have our online events. So this year, we did a whole lot of events last year to help people through the crisis. And apparently there's more to come. So again, this year, we're going to be offering monthly Christ meditations, and that has nothing to do with religion or the church, universal Christ level, and New Earth transmissions. So that'll be, how shall we say this? These will be guided activations in creating your place in the new earth, because we are creating new civilization on new earth, but we have to consciously create that, where we want to live, what we want to do, the kinds of people we want to reach, basically. So it's a bit like we're pioneers in the new earth. We're coming together as small pockets of community, and we're creating, actualizing our place in the new earth. Now, how long it takes, I have no idea. But we got to start somewhere, right? So we're leaving the old earth, we're leaving it energetically, and we're going to go into the new earth. At some point, that's where we'll be living, within the age of Aquarius. That's what we came here for. That's what the light workers came here for. They came to establish heaven on earth, the true heaven, not what the churches teach, but the real new heaven. And let's see what else. Maybe occasional full moon activations. We always do the Lion's Gate, August 8th. We do the 11/11, the 12/12. We'll do any important solstices or equinox events. We always do a special transmission during Christmas time. And we always do a free New Year's Day global peace meditation to help set the tone for the whole year. And that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And whatever else comes to me. So see, this is how the universe works, right? People for 20 years have said, Kenji, when are you going to write your book? It's like, I'm not going to write books. I don't want to do that. That's too cumbersome. I don't want to do that. Because my mind works so much faster than my hand writing. So I can't do that. Maybe an audio book, but no, I don't want to write a book. So recently, one of my fans volunteered to take my activations and make them into books. So how cool is that?
Yes, indeed.
And I got another fan who volunteered, or doing a trade, to write activation content for my products. So to actually write about like what this activation is about. I've done that with most of my retreat packages, but I haven't necessarily done it for single online activation events. See, so these things just came. I put out to the, well, I didn't consciously put out to the universe, I'm going to write my book now, send me a ghostwriter. Although I have told people, okay, I'll write a book if I can get a ghostwriter. But I got somebody even better to just transcribe the activations and make them into 5 books or 8 books. So there you go.
Wow.
I guess I'm going to be an author at some point.
Yes, and very busy this year. I'm so glad that you are doing such beautiful work and helping people to awaken themselves and realize that there is more to life than the 9 to 5 job, and they really have to work on themselves and awaken the higher self and the soul and their life purpose. That's very important. So, Kenji, thank you very much for your time. Do you have any final thoughts?
I'd like to do a short meditation for the audience,
Please, thank you.
something that will help them to get into the flow and to experience possibilities. So if you are willing, we can do that now.
Please. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to ask everyone to stop their multitasking, find a comfortable place, whether it's yoga style, laying down, sitting in a chair, and make sure your spine is supported. We're going to use the power of the breath to come into the now moment and to focus. So we're going to breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, very slowly each way. And as you do this, you're going to activate to another level your microcosmic orbit. Your I am presence, your soul knows what this is. So be not concerned. On a mind level, just allow an activation and enhancement of your microcosmic orbit that will assist in activating your chi, the life force energy for your body. You may feel sensations around your spinal column, your dantian, the lower part of your abdomen, maybe at the base of the spine, in your brain. That's all natural. So we're going to breathe into the now moment. So we're going to breathe in through the nose the vibration of complete physical, mental relaxation. Take it deep into the belly, up into the diaphragm and lungs, up into the third eye center, up into your brain. And then slowly exhale and release the day. Let go of your to-do list, let go of any levels of anxiety, stress, worry, concern. Allow the body to relax enough so that it can begin to let go of its stress and tension. And for the mind to let go of the thoughts. And just come into the present moment. You're going to ground your feet chakras with the new earth, not the old earth, the new earth. And feel around you stars, what appear to be twinkling stars in the twilight that are surrounding you, these beautiful twinkling stars, starlights. Feel their love and support. Let go of all that is going on in the world. Let go of your emotional body, your pain body, your intellect, tribal conscience, chaos, the world, and the collective astral plane. Let go of the world. Let go of everything that you are attached to, third, fourth, dimensionally speaking. Begin to allow your spirit, your consciousness to move through a golden arc of light into what we call the space of freedom and oneness. Continue to breathe the body, breathe in the power of total relaxation. On the out breath, let go of all levels of tension and stress. Become aware of your whole body. And as you move through a golden arc of light, feel your awareness being drawn towards a beautiful light. It is calling you back home. Allow the body to completely relax. And as you relax, as the body relaxes, your chakra flows are going to begin to enhance, activating your endocrine system, activating pineal, pituitary thalamus, and hypothalamus, allowing your fingers and toes to completely relax, relaxing the jaw bones or the TMJ, your forehead and your eyelid muscles. Touch your thumb and index fingers together on both hands and place the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth very gently, staying relaxed. Moving awareness into your divine destiny for this new year. Opening up your Akashic records. Drawing from your records, from the Akash, all the tools and the faith that you will need to move through this new year with ease and grace and joyfulness and peacefulness, staying, rising above all of the chaos. Drawing forth from the Akash your abilities, your innate abilities of manifestation, emotional health, mental well-being, financial wealth and abundance, connecting to your tribe, connecting to your ideal business partners and networkers, and accessing those tools that you can use to fully heal your body and your mind. Tapping into that great internal light, your light source. Begin to bring back to your body this beautiful light. And placing that light through your soul star into your crown chakra, into your brain, into your third eye center, into the heart, into the solar plexus, and the base of the spine within your original 8 cells of creation. Move it into your hand chakras and your feet chakras. And allow this light to transform the cells of your body, your RNA messengers, your DNA, your chromosome, genes, telomeres, and codons. The codons, the codes of your DNA. Activating the power of the brain to release endorphins and DMT, the so-called sacred hormones and elixirs that is innate within the functioning of the brain. Serotonin, melatonin, neurotransmitters, allowing the endocrine system to awake, activating immune system. Feel a flushing and a cleansing of your auric field with this beautiful light. Allowing this light to cleanse and realign your 4 lower bodies, physical, etheric, emotional, and mental. Reinforcing your connection with the great central sun and source energy, Holy Spirit, prime energy. And allowing that to connect through your feet chakras to the sacred heart of the new earth and the age of Aquarius. And seeing this light channeling through you to the planet, to all beings that are ready to receive this light, to all nature spirits, of the earth, allow this beautiful light to go into the grid system of the earth, into the new earth. Allow a gentle activation of your still point within your heart. Activating the power of joy for your body. Feel the power of this joy now moving through your blood and nervous system. And moving through all your relationships, your business, your private practice, to all those that you love and care about, to your parents, wherever they are, to your children, wherever they are, to your ancestors, and to your extended family. Now, coming back to the earth plane in your body, your room, allow the light to continue to circulate in all levels of your consciousness embodiment. Coming back in the present moment, awake, alert, alive, focused, committed, grounded, holding that state within of divine balance and harmony within all things. And so as you're ready, take a slow, deep breath, slowly open the eyes. Continue to allow this activation to continue until complete. Remember to drink water and always be grounded and focused while driving. Remember the stars that are about you, the starlight, your support team. Allow your inner child to embrace the starlight. Find your center with your body, and when you're ready, slowly open the eyes. And just be completely present in this now moment. Choosing to enjoy life like never before. Allowing joy to be the prime mover of your life. Allowing love and peace to feel your being, your mind, and your body. And so it is. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful activation. It's always amazing to go through a guided meditation. It's much better than doing it on your own. Sometimes you lose track of what you should do, what thoughts you should think. So this was wonderful, and I know my viewers will appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Namaste. You're welcome.
Namaste. And to my viewers, thank you for watching. Please share it, like it. You can support me on patreon.com at Claudiu Murgan on my account on Patreon. And until next time, love and gratitude.